Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Um, Let me see here. Sorry I am so late today, but it was just so much out there, as you could imagine. So that is enough of all that who shot John. So let's get on with it, shall we? I am going to bypass the hellos just so that we can get into it. But I see there's a lot of people here already. Um, okay, so no super chats. Checking for that. All right, no super chats. But anyway, hello, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. And happy Monday to you. Happy New Year. Until that starts to get old saying that. Okay, so just one last thing to do is to bring my slides up that I've been working on all the way to the last minute. So, as you can imagine. All right. Very, very good. Wunderbar. Okay. Almost there, you guys. I watched the Michael Strahan, but they kind of, they're going to have something tonight, a special. So then it gives you a chance to see everything in the proper context. So, but in the meantime, for what we've seen already, there we go. There's my slide. Oh, okay. So there's a double watermark up there on the right side. It's okay. Thank you so much, Elaine Parker, for being here. And thank you for the super chat and being a member of Royal Sussex. All right. Okay. So, anyway, my impressions. Michael Strahan, who was a football star and now he's a television personality. Very nice guy. Very nice guy. One of the best things that he's ever done, in my opinion, wasn't on the football field. It was when he quit that job he had with Kelly Ripa, one of the most irritating people I've ever known in life. Uh, oh man, that was an epic uh, resigning, but I'm glad that he did. I'm glad he quit that job. So he's over at Good Morning America, and he's with Prince Harry for this interview, and I think it was a good fit. Still, my favorite is Anderson Cooper, right? Based on what I've seen so far, going into it, I was leaning toward Anderson Cooper, and even after tonight, I have a feeling that, Laurie, thank you so much for that. ABC special tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so much for saying the time zone. That is so helpful. So in the Midwest, that would be 7:30. And for the people in the UK, you guys are 6 hours ahead of me. So let's go back. Let me see if it's 8:30 there. Oh yeah, so that's kind of the wee hours of the morning for you, isn't it? All right, but thank you. That's helpful though. I appreciate the time zone. But yeah, so that comes on tonight, and I believe it's an hour and a half interview. So that will be helpful. All right, and all right, okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Joan Garcia says Baron Kelly acted like Michael was not supposed to quit without telling her, though ABC said he could not tell a soul. Exactly, exactly. That whole performance that she put on really grated on my nerves. Anyway, I'm not going to get into her. But yeah, she put on quite the performance and she refused. I mean, she totally had a meltdown. She refused to come to work and all that kind of stuff. It would be such a privilege, especially as legacy television is going through a terrible decline. It would be such a privilege to have a position on television. so much so that I couldn't see myself having a meltdown and laying in the floor and prostrating myself because my you know in the workplace, most people don't know, people who work traditional jobs, you never know whether the person next to you is going to be there next week or next year. And so every day you come to work, you don't know what kind of team you're going to have. You don't really have control over these things. But anyway, I promise I'm not even going to go into that. I am so mad. I upgraded the CBS Stream membership to watch 60 Minutes live only for the YouTube to upload the whole interview feed free. That is, laugh out loud. Well, Mackenzie, I did the same thing. I tried to go to my local television station yesterday only to find out that it was like a different type of stream, and I quickly went to Pedal's community tab, right? And by going to Pedal's community tab, I found the link that took me right there. So I'm going to advise you guys through this period of interviews um, to try to sort these things out as early as possible, because it can be so frustrating the very last minute, and then you realize these smart TVs that we all have are not so smart, and I couldn't even use the local the antenna. And I've used it before, but just like when your computer doesn't upgrade, these televisions upgrade, and sometimes when you go to use the menu, you'll find out that it's not exactly what it was when you purchased the television. So very frustrating. I'm sorry that happened to you, Mackenzie, but yeah, I went to Pedal for everything. And so to watch the ITV, I used the link that she provided, and also to watch 60 Minutes, I also used the link she provided. So, Pedal, if you are listening, thank you so much. You have proved yourself invaluable and quite helpful and intrepid, might I add, even though I don't know what that means, but I'm pretty sure that's what you were. And I'm going to assume that intrepid means something good. Let me see here. So, like right now, I'm looking at Pedal's community tab, and there is a link for, what does the link take me to? Uh, okay. Well, it took me to at least one of the. It took me to the morning interview. Okay, so I've seen that one already. But yeah, so that is what I did for yesterday, and it all worked out. So thank you, Pedal. That was a big save. And thank you for your comment, Mackenzie. I appreciate you being here. Okay. Oh, Rick, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Monday to you. Okay. And Yvette Carr says, I love you, Megan and Harry. Keep up the good works. I'm praying for you. Always keep loving each other. Yes, and ain't that the way it is? They have such a connection with each other. All right, so moving on. So this was the thumbnail for one of my videos. It's so interesting. I was like Googling something about, you know, Harry and his interviews, and all of a sudden, as I'm Googling and I go through the, image search, this pops up, and I'm just like, wow. I mean, that's really cool when you see like something that you put together and it's in the Google search. So anyway, that was from days ago, and I don't even know what made that pop up, but it did. But it's kind of fun seeing it. But I think this is when they had first announced the interviews on 60 Minutes, and then with Tom Bradby. So very, very cool. Right, and next. Someone posted this on Twitter, and I got a kick out of it, of course. Camilla, the homewrecker, breaking up families since 1981. If that is not a monumental understatement, I don't know what is. But breaking up families since 1981. Um, Well, what could I say? She's good at what she does. She has played the long game, you guys, and it has paid off for her. And so she has gone from being this very less than average person to being the official national pretty girl. She is Miss Congeniality or Miss um, well, anyway, she has managed to take herself all the way up to the top using whatever skills or whatever behavior. You know what I'm just looking at? Okay, so okay. I wanted to emphasize the fact that she has two faces or forked tongue or yeah, she's a two face. So I wanted to emphasize that, and I'm trying to figure out if one of these photos is more airbrushed than the other, but I guess they're the same. It's just the tone is a little different. But yeah, there she is, a bit of a Camilla, the homewrecker. And it is true. It is true. And it's just incredible that thank you, Helene. You took the words right out of quite a few mouths just now. But it's just incredible that someone who has done so much dirt gets to have the big prize. But thanks to Harry and these several interviews now, it is finally a bit of a day of reckoning. So Harry, I'm gonna just I'm gonna use the term has gone rogue a bit, and and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it in the best of ways. He has gone rogue, and all of the frustrations that I have felt, and I'm sure a lot of you all have been feeling about the way it seems as though the institution and the media, among others, have seemed to just steamrolled over the Sussexes, and there hasn't been anyone throwing them a lifeline. Well, I should take that back on quite a few occasions, but just not nearly enough to keep up with the hate campaign. But you've had the Oprahs and the Tylers and even the Gayle Kings that have thrown a lifeline to the Sussexes. And there's been quite a few people who I'm sure have done things, you know, behind the scenes to try to help out as much as they can. But the truth is, you know, they have lives of their own. Nacho has been more than willing to defend Harry whenever he has a platform and the topic comes up. But you know, he that's not what he does for a living. He's the international face of Ralph Lauren, and he's a one of the best polo players in a long time. So that's his day job. His day job is not defending the Sussexes, and it shouldn't be. They are in the United States. They do have a voice of their own. And so they have been very strategic about the platforms that they have used to push back or to, you know, speak out against the hate campaign or speak truth to power, if you will. And I think they've done a great job of it. So you had like a whole year where they were silent, and then, of course, there was the Oprah interview. And then by the time the tabloid media and the institution got through with their, you know, spinning and all of the whataboutisms and such, it almost seemed like it was a waste of time. And of course, because Oprah, unlike 60 Minutes, you can go right now on YouTube and watch the entire 60 minutes and even the after show or whatever they call it, these 60 minutes extra. Well, you can't do that with Oprah. You can't really make the case. You can't use portions of it to help the Sussexes because once it was over with, it was back in the can. And if you try to use any bits of it on social media, all of a sudden you get a copyright claim. So, not a lot you can do with that. It's hard to defend them with the Oprah interview because we don't really have access to it. But then, of course, with the 60 Minutes and ITV, I don't know how that will be shared, but that's kind of difficult to do, I believe, as well, but not impossible. It's certainly not impossible. But at least, with these series of interviews, and of course, they've never had it so good at the Daily Mail. They haven't had this much intensity in the day at the Daily Mail and the Sun and the Express, the Metro, all those papers, because there is just so much material out there. So it's a feeding frenzy, and everybody is going to make money as much as they're complaining about the Sussexes monetizing their pain. You could also make the argument that at least they are getting paid to tell their own story instead of the tabloids and other media being paid to tell somebody else's story. It's unfortunate Carolyn Flack didn't have the ability to hold the attention of the world in her hand and tell her own story. Maybe if she could do that, maybe she'd still be alive today. But that was impossible. Or Princess Diana, she had the whole blackmail of her children actually being the custody of the queen. So there were certain limitations as to how she could defend herself and still, be a part of that family. Although she tried, but it was very covert, and it was also done at a time when there was no social media. So um, as things have moved forward, and now, with the Twitter, for example, everybody can stand on their soapbox, and there you can project your voice to every corner of the earth and find someone who will listen to you. So that is a huge change in the way we debate these things. It's not just the front pages of the paper or the evening news program. Now you actually have the ability to project. And as for people that support you, they have a chance to project to protect you. So that is a good thing. Of course, conversely, there are people who can use that projection to hurt you, which there are quite a few people out there that have decided to do that. Let's see. Laura says all Camilla wanted was and is to be crowned queen. She will get it, but at what cost? Chuck hopefully will still love her if his reign is tarnished. Well, I mean, he tarnished it himself though, and shortened by Camilla's past and present acts. Charles, even without Camilla, the bags of money, which, you know, because the tabloid press is so fixated on the Sussexes, there are so many things that Charles has done that has nothing to do with Camilla that is enough to get him in trouble. At least I suppose it doesn't have anything to do with her. But there's plenty, and I do mean plenty, that he's guilty of or accused of that has nothing to do with Camilla. So he was pretty much damaged goods when he got there. It all started with whatever love means, or you could even go back and say it started when they first began to groom Princess Diana, well, Lady Diana Spencer, when she was first groomed for that position. So yeah, you can go all the way back there, and that's really when it started. It was all part of this like initiation or campaign or grooming or whatever. So, but thank you so much for your comment. Let me move on here. So, Queen's former press secretary blasts Harry's questionable recollections. So, these two old farts, Dickie Arbiter and Nicholas Winchell, and that Nicholas Winchell, if you guys, I wish I could find that picture of him where his eyes are all squinted up and he's like, I mean, his the whole body language when he speaks of the Sussexes, and I tell you, nobody has put on a more spirited defense for the crown that I could think of other than Nicholas Winchell. It is so fanatical the way he carries on about the royal family. I can see why there's so much pushback because that family sustains all of these talking, writing, um, little hanger-ons that are only able to earn a living, or at least they choose to earn their living by upholding the institution, by creating this altar where everyone is supposed to worship the institution and of course the sovereign and the royal family. That of course is how they earn their living. And I try to find some type of parallel with that and the United States and, of course, the first family and everything. And there's just nothing that comes close to it. I mean, with the first family, could you imagine the American media um, all in unison just having this long drawn out debate about the president and the first lady or the president's children? I mean, there have been times like Jimmy Carter's brother Billy, who was, loved and hated, and of course he was a darling amongst the media because he was, considered a bit of a loser, and it seemed like he was cashing in. So he was quite the embarrassment. I'll just say that he was very embarrassing. And I guess you could say the same about the Trump kids, in particular, Donald Trump Jr. Well, all of his kids, they were very controversial. But the vitriol, the hatred, I mean, the very obvious hatred was never something that came from, like, even amongst the, let's say, the left leaning press. I don't know that any of them have ever gone after a president's child or the right wing for that matter. Before the Fox News, you would never see people like target a president's child. I don't care who the president was. It was just like, for instance, all of the clamoring and the arguing and screaming that I've seen in the Parliament at Westminster. That's almost like unheard of in the United States Congress. We've seen, that in the past few days. As a matter of fact, in the past few years, it has become increasingly like a reality show. But that's something that just did not exist for us here. We, the Congress, they have a certain way that they address one another. The very honorable lady from, the very honorable gentleman from, and that was the way they carried on. But the screaming and the shouting and such, um, Fox News, Fox News has changed that because there's people, a lot of Republicans that have literally, they play for the camera. They play for the camera in ways that never happened before. As a matter of fact, if they banned the cameras from the Congress, a lot of this stuff would never happen. I'm not saying they should, but but in the old days when it was just C-SPAN, it was not done. But now, thanks to Fox News, they are literally playing to the cameras because it helps them with their constituents. Okay, why does that image of Nicholas Winchell, doesn't he look like that Scream portrait or painting or whatever? Who was the one that painted Scream? Let me take a look at that right now. Scream. That's what he reminds me of. I'm looking at him and I'm seeing Scream. I am literally seeing Scream. Okay, okay. I swear that's what I'm seeing. I am seeing Scream. I am seeing the Scream. I am going to share that with you guys. Give me just a second here. I can do this really fast. I promise you, I am seeing Scream. I kept looking at him and I'm just like, am I seeing the Scream? Okay. Oh dear God, I am. Oh my God. Okay, okay. Okay, let me. Oh, wait, I can make this work. Give me a second. Give me a second. It's uncanny, the resemblance to the screen painting. And I'm not talking about the movie. I'm speaking about I don't know who painted that. It's one of those impressionist artists. Was it Van Gogh or Van Gogh? I don't want to sound too American and say Van Gogh. But I think that's who it is. So 1 second. Black background. And I'm over here. And I'm going to bring it up. Well, hell, they both look like the Scream. I mean, to be honest with you. Jesus. Jeez Louise. They both look like the Scream. Isn't that something? Look. See? They literally both look like Scream. I swear they do. Look at that. Nicholas Winchell, Scream. Um, Dickie Arbiter, Scream. Oh boy. Oh well. I knew. I just kept looking and I'm just like, what is it I'm seeing? Right? All right. Well, isn't that a Scream? I just made a funny. Let me see here. There were more interesting views, and most are in Harry's on Harry's side. Let me see. I loved to see that most Dutch correspondents in the UK followed and quote the same people I follow. Oh, that's good. Like Peter Hunt. Yeah, Peter Hunt is cool. I kind of like Peter Hunt. Um, Let me see here. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm like so way far behind with the comments, but let me scroll. Okay. Truly, when they're going to get tough and okay, when the going gets tough, the wait, when the going gets tough, the tough like Harry get going. Harry bringing forth freedom, bringing truth, truth after truth, and the conditions of many hearts. Uh, Goodwill overcomes and expose evil. Thank you for that, Audrey. Okay. Let me see here. Okay, Shay says, yet Camilla never ever defended Megan from the abuse and harassment. She is an evil, racist, manipulative woman, and has always been since the time of the late Princess Diana time greedy. Amen. Yeah, and I think that a lot of it has to do with her securing the future for her children. That's what I think. I think that, aside from whatever arrogance she has to believe that she's entitled to the throne. And I mean, God help us. This woman is wearing the jewels. Not that the jewels are, some like sanctimonious pieces that deserve, but yeah, I mean, I know where the jewels come from, but the queen has led a very pious, maybe somewhat ill-informed life, right? But I think everybody can agree that even though with all the shortcomings that she's had, she was always seen as, pretty. Okay, bad example, but it's just, I mean, she's wearing the queen's jewels. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and so even though my feelings about the queen has changed, let's just say for argument's sake that I was one of those people that belonged to the Church of England who loved the queen, celebrated the queen, and all of a sudden her son's side piece is raiding the jewelry case. I'm just surprised that doesn't bother people, that they don't seem to care that their very pious and benevolent queen's jewels are being passed out between Camilla and Kate. And okay, Kate, fine, but Camilla is wearing the queen. She's wearing the granny chips, as they call them. She is literally going to be sitting there wearing the crown jewels on coronation day. And not to take anything away from the fact that equally disgusting Charles is going to be there, right there with her, wearing these jewels, all of these little trinkets, and the people that are so outraged about the queen not getting the proper respect. Does it not bother them that these people are going to wear his mama's jewels? Jewels that were once worn by Princess Diana? It's disgusting. Disgusting. R.R. Carter, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for being here and watching Royal Sussex. God, I hope I didn't miss anything because I'm just talking and I'm so far behind on everything. God's child says the devil is a liar. Sky News mentioned the interview when what is that? Ominously filmed Taliban talked unhappily about Harry with the red X and on Harry. What's our UK media doing? May the blood of Jesus cover Harry, Meghan, Archie, Lily, and Doria. Please pray. God's child, I know that that is upsetting. I know how disturbing that is, but they completely took Harry's comments out of context. And deliberately so, they took his comments out of context. And James O'Brien actually, um, in the most eloquent way, read those very same comments. And it is quite obvious that those comments were not meant the way that the Daily Mail has portrayed them. And so, yeah, it's all part of this, smear campaign and everything, but is only something orchestrated by those individuals to try to distract from the true story that's happening. And that is Harry is taking that family to task for their past misdeeds and such. So I'm going to say, try not to let that distract you. It's exactly what they want to do, is to demoralize. And I am not as bothered by it today as I was, say, yesterday or even the day before, because it's a ploy. And the people that are running the Taliban know exactly what's at stake. They are taking advantage of the attention that has been thrown their way. But I'm just going to say, if you, as a matter of fact, if you look at the way that they responded to those initial, um, headlines, the letter that came from the Taliban was actually very well written. It wasn't as though like a fifth grader wrote it. It was obviously someone who has some education that is representing them. And so it's not difficult to manipulate or pay or however they were able to do it to get these people to stand there and hold up pieces of paper. I do not think that Harry is in some grave danger because of this situation. I certainly don't think it should be underestimated either, but I don't think that he's in any grave danger. The truth is, uh, that would mean the entire military complex within Britain should be concerned about that. I don't think it's a big deal for now. I don't. This is just being hyped up by the tabloids and absolutely nobody else. It's all they have. I guess what I'm trying to say is this is all they have. This is the only way they can push back against Harry is to use that portion of his book, which is so far out of context. I mean, if you limit it to, yeah, Harry was looking at them like chess pieces, but the entire text described regret and also concern about people, not loathing or hatred for them just because they were targets of the Taliban. So I think the only way that you can like really um, take this into context is to just read it for yourself. It's in the book. You don't really hear the American uh, news media making a big fuss out of it. There's only the mention of it because of the British tabloid media. I mean, that's where it's coming from. But since Harry has started doing these interviews, notice how it's practically disappeared. I mean, it's not really a thing here as much as it is over there because, as I said, that's all they got. That is all they have. The only way to push back against exposing Camilla is to use that as a pushback. So, I mean, and by the way, thank you for your comment, God's child. And also, thank you so much for the super chat. But yeah, that's all they have. The legacy media in the United States are not dragging that story around the way that the old tabloid media and of course the BBC and all that, that's all they have. If the BBC had a shred of respectability, they would set the record straight about the entire thing. But because they don't, and because they're doing the bidding of the palace, because they're an extension of the palace PR machine, they won't set the record straight. How come they can't do the exact same thing that O'Brien did? I mean, O'Brien literally said very clearly that this is exactly what Harry said, and it made so much sense. But if you don't want the truth, if you're not interested in the context, and all those people that they stop on the street, if those people are so ignorant that they cannot read it for themselves, then it only further explains why Harry. Okay, here you go. All right, try this.
Radio, or you read this in a book, and you didn't know the author. The author wasn't famous. It was just a military memoir rather than, well, so it's quite long, but I'm going to read all of it. Afghanistan was a war of mistakes, a war of enormous collateral damage, thousands of innocents killed and maimed, and that always haunted us. So my goal from the day I arrived was never to go to bed doubting that I'd done the right thing, that my targets had been correct, that I was firing on Taliban and only Taliban, no civilians nearby. I wanted to return to Britain with all my limbs, but more, I wanted to go home with my conscience intact, which meant being aware of what I was doing and why I was doing it at all times. Most soldiers can't tell you precisely how much death is on their ledger. In battle conditions, there's often a great deal of indiscriminate firing. But in the age of Apaches and laptops, everything I did in the course of 2 combat tours was recorded, time-stamped. I could always say precisely how many enemy combatants I'd killed, and I felt it vital never to shy away from that number. Among the many things I learned in the army, accountability was near the top of the list. So, my number, 25. It wasn't a number that gave me any satisfaction, but neither was it a number that made me feel ashamed. Naturally, I'd have preferred not to have that number on my military CV, on my mind, but by the same token, I'd have preferred to live in a world in which there was no Taliban, a world without war. Even for an occasional practitioner of magical thinking like me, however, some realities just can't be changed. While in the heat and fog of combat, I didn't think of those 25 as people. You can't kill people if you think of them as people. You can't really harm people if you think of them as people. They were chess pieces removed from the board, bads taken away before they could kill goods. I'd been trained to other-eyes them, trained well. On some level, I recognized this learned detachment as problematic, but I also saw it as an unavoidable part of soldiering, another reality that couldn't be changed. Now, why bother sharing that with your readers when you can just tell them that he's painted targets on the back of his own children and that?
Yeah. So, God's child, I hope that was helpful. And as James O'Brien just said at the end there, why bother to share the complete text with the readers when you can just say that Harry has painted targets on his children's back? And this, of course, the way they have hyped up all of this stuff, uh, if there's anyone who's painting a target, it is the tabloids. But they don't care about anyone's life. Under the guise of public interest, they can say and pretty much do whatever they want in pursuit of getting the story out there. And they always have that to fall back on is that, well, it's newsworthy. Our readers want to know. And there is no critical thinking in public education anymore. It just seems to be you have to choose a side. You have to choose Coke or Pepsi. You have to choose McDonald's or Burger King. There's very limited choices out there for people. And at election time, it always comes down to a lesser of two evils. So there's no real way to take time to think about these things. And you certainly can't trust the media to inform you. They're going to tell you what they want you to know, but they're not going to give you a balanced report. And so, for those who are listening that hate Harry and hate Meghan, Harry, for almost 2 years, said very little. The Oprah interview was to set the record straight, nothing. And then, for a whole nother year, while he worked on his book, there was still the continuous attacks on himself, his wife, his children, and even to a lesser extent, his mother in law. And it continued. And there's no reason to believe that even after this is going to stop, as evident by the way that the same media that he has accused of misdeeds is still continuing to attack him in full light of day, and they don't care who knows it. This is very irresponsible. It is alarming and concerning, but once you see it or hear it rather in the full context, it makes so much more sense and is, like I said, the letter from the Taliban in response to it was very well written. I don't think that they hold a personal grudge against Harry. It's all propaganda. Everybody within war knows what the stakes are. And Harry was there not because he started the war. He was there serving king and country or queen and country, and that's all to it. And so was everybody else that was there. So I like I said, I doubt if among the actual leadership of the Taliban that this is a big issue. But is it something that's used for propaganda? You bet it is. I mean, it's worth everything you can do to spin it yourself and use it as propaganda against the West. And that helps them to shore up support amongst the rest of the people in their country because that's what is expected. So, my advice is don't worry about it. It is going to, just like with the Nazi uniform, that seemed like the worst possible thing in the world. And Harry has managed that one. So this will be managed as well. And it'll be at a time and a place of his choosing. He will handle it. But for now, he has a book to sell. So I'm just not as concerned about it. Okay. Let me see here. Okay, but and then too, you guys, there the what do you call it? The I guess the 800-pound gorilla is the Sussex squad. That is the elephant in the room that nobody is talking about. Only every so often they'll bring up the Sussex squad, but there are certain levels to the Sussex squad. There are some that are more vocal, and then there are some who have quietly and discreetly, had conversations with friends and family and such, trying to explain Harry and Meghan's side of the story. And it's a street by street battle, but somebody's got to fight it, right? Dorothy Ross says, Baron, there are millions and millions of jewels in the vault that never see the light of day. Sell them and feed the hungry and homeless. Yes, and please support the NHS. They could sell some of those granny chips to support the NHS. I mean, they should just have a massive auction, and they could actually put a lot of money into the NHS, even if it's just a week's worth of money, um, or give a pay increase, a salary increase, not only to the staff that's on hand now, but the future staff that they can hire if they make it more lucrative for people to want to go into nursing or to attract doctors or whatever. But that's a great idea. And if Charles would like to have a coronation like none other, he will give away more than what is taken that day. Um, a nice round number, or at least announce and make the intention. That will be unforgettable. That will be something that he could do himself that can save the House of Windsor. Because otherwise, you guys, I'm telling you, um, the British economy, they are trying to pretend like there's no money for the nurses. It's amazing how there's never any money for workers' salaries. There's no money to build decent, affordable housing. But when it's time for war, all of a sudden they start pulling out stockpiles of resources that nobody knew exist. I'll give you guys a good example. As you know, I am a bit of long of tooth, however many teeth I got left. And I recall when Mexico was about to default, they were in dire straits where their economy was concerned. And Bill Clinton all of a sudden said, well, we're going to bail them out. We have a super fund just for such an emergency. And people were like, what? A super fund? We have a super fund. Give me a thumbs up if you all remember the famous Super Fund. And the Super Fund was a pool of money that was set aside just in case there was some type of dire emergency, like your neighboring country that, you know, is probably America's biggest trading partner, United States' biggest trading partner, and all of a sudden, when their economy hits a bump in the road, you decide that you are going to reach in your behind and pull out money from a super fund that nobody had ever heard of. Now, that was when I knew that the federal government was on some BS. Okay, let's see right here. Clinton Digital Library rather. Uh, okay, 41 years ago. Oh man. Okay. 41 years ago. A look at Bill Clinton's fundraising methods from nope, that's not it. Um Okay, Superfund bill, business insurance, Clinton administration opposed a limited Superfund reform bill that enjoys broad business support despite. Well, yeah, I had never heard that term before Bill Clinton. And one of my favorite topics, of course, was civics. But yeah, oh, okay, so I see a couple of thumbs up there. Yeah, they came up with this Superfund that was supposed to save Mexico. And the truth is, they just didn't want a lot of people to come to the United States looking for work. That was the whole point of it. Because the only reason why they love to make sure that they can limit the amount of people at the border is because it helps to make unemployment low, and that's why Obama actually deported way more people than anybody else is because he was trying to keep the unemployment numbers low. Well, now we really need workers. So I think they need to let some more people in. But thank you so much for your comment, Dorothy Ross. And moving on, let me see here. Oh, well, you know what? Let me just go ahead and do that soundbite for the Sussex Squad. The Sussex Squad. Thomas, have you ever heard of this so-called a Sussex Squad? Okay. Uh, and go.
Oh well, I do think yes. I think that is already the case. Sadly, I mean, there's the Sussex Squad, as they're known on social media, and they are very vocal indeed and quite vitriolic. Oh well, I do think yes. I think that is already the case. Sadly, I mean, there's the Sussex Squad, as they're known on social media, and they are very vocal indeed and quite vitriolic.
Yeah, you're right. We are quite vocal. And I'm not going to say they are vitriolic, but I'm going to say that I am a bit vitriolic. Um, but that's because I want to protect my faves. Okay, so there is Tom Bradby and Anderson Cooper. Oh, thank you so much for that. British media smear is irresponsible and putting H in danger. Yeah, I mean it definitely shouldn't be taken lightly. I'm not as worried about it after hearing, of course, or reading rather, the context of it because it is public information. It's out there. It's what the tabloids have done with it that is frightening. So but yes, thank you, 10. Uh, wait a minute, that didn't translate the way it was supposed to. Uh, I put some eyes on that hat and they have disappeared. I wonder how that happened. Let me see. And the eyes have it. What happened to my eyes? Well, it's certainly here, but for whatever reason, it disappeared there. Well, anyway, um, I, as you guys know, I noticed that her hat reminded me a bit of Grover, and I couldn't help myself. I shared this with you guys before, but I just had so much fun with it. I had to do it again. Let me see here. But yeah, that's weird. When I uploaded the photo, the eyes disappeared. Man, that was supposed to be fun. Let me see if I can make it work. Let me see if I can make that work. And the eyes have it. Let's see. Aha, there you go. There you go. That only took a minute. Oh my God. Camilla, what are we going to do with you, girl? What are we going to do with you? You old drawn up piece of leather. I tell you, if well, if she has any grandkids, I don't know if she does, but if she has any grandkids, if you are a grandchild of Camilla and you're watching, please find that hat and just, I don't know, if you, even if you use cardboard, take some cardboard and a Sharpie and do this for me, and I'll send you $20. Okay, but you gotta take a shot and send it to me. You have to inbox me with the photo, and I will send you $20. I promise. Any grandchildren of Camilla. So, all right. So I was looking at a clip of Good Morning Britain, right? And of course, they were having the debate about Harry. Of course, they are. Harry is the moment. So they were having a debate about. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. What is that? LDSW says, I am also surprised that the military and the UK government officials haven't had a convo with the palace about using alleged details about a military campaign for taunting and smearing. Well, this is the same, people that didn't think that they should be represented at the Invictus Games. They are hoping and praying that the Invictus Games is going to be a failure. Well, I tell you what, guys, um, the Invictus Games, is that in September? That may as well be a lifetime. If you guys are the least bit worried about the Invictus Games, don't. I'm just telling you, don't. The Invictus Games are fine. There is no Invictus game without Harry. But poor Chris Ship, um, Chris Ship with a P, not a T, is Chris Ship with a P, not a T. Look at that man's face. Look at the amount of anguish. I don't know what all this stuff means to poor Chris Ship with a P, not a T, but I mean, he looks so constipated and upset. He looks like he's a sip of Metamucil away from exploding. This poor guy. I mean, just he's so distraught. I'm just it, the way that they get so emotional, like this is their own families. And when people say that the royal family is like a cult, and that the whole mystique around the royals is a cult, if you look at Chris Ship's face, you could honestly see, yeah, I can kind of see there's a cult like atmosphere there. And it does seem like just this big, huge, cultish like entity. I mean, you got, look at Chris Ship, right? And take a look at those old farts there. What are they afraid of? What terror? Look at the terror in their eyes. You would think that they literally are reporting about a spaceship that just landed over the Thames. Like, good God, great Godfrey, there's a starship that has just appeared over the River Thames. Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, that's what it looks like. It looks like it looks like they're in such anguish because of that. Well, certainly not. Look at how cool Anderson Cooper is. Anderson Cooper is just cool, but they look so. Look at her. Look at her. Look at all of them. I noticed they all seem to have that look going on where they seem so pained and so anguished over Prince Harry exposing Camilla or Charles, or are they incandescent with rage, William? Why are they so anguished? Where does this pain come from? Are they that disturbed, or is this just a bunch of bad theater? Because I feel like it's some really bad theater. To me, it's just bad theater. I told you guys, those talk shows with all those panelists and everything, I, if you are letting those people get to you, just turn it off. Just turn it off, because it is nothing more than just a bunch of theater. And that's all this is. And so Chris Ship, with a P, not a T, is actually doing some of the worst acting outside of what is that? The theater district over there. It's really bad theater. So again, you guys, I say, don't let these people bother you. If the conversations that they are having is upsetting to you, turn it off, because you're not going to find the answers because you looked at Good Morning Britain today. You're just not. When they got it in, they got it in. And so the very few words that they will allow, say, a Dr. Scholler to get out, or anybody else who is pro Sussex, it doesn't really justify the hurt you're causing yourself, because you're watching these shows hoping that the truth has somehow finally broken through. They don't want the truth out there. They want to shout down anyone who supports Harry and Meghan, and they only have opposition on there to make them look fair, to make them look justified. Otherwise, if they just maintained nothing but hate and hostility without having someone else come in to offset it, then of course it would seem as though that they are doing exactly what they're doing, but they just don't want you to know that they're doing it, so they have to balance it somewhat. Let's see here. There has also a warning about the Sussex squad, that they are very good at doing research. In other words, we research until we find the truth. You got that right. You got the oppositional research, or as we like to say, receipts. The Sussex squad is very good at that. Those internet sleuths that solve crimes, that's the way the Sussex squad operates. It's amazing how you can just do this, pull on the slightest little thread, and all kind of truth comes tumbling out. So, all I can say is, squaddies, keep doing what you're doing. The official chaplain of Royal Sussex is here. Good evening, Baron and Squatty family. Yes, the Squatties are a vocal squad, especially as we continue to pray without ceasing for Harry, Meghan, Archie, Lily D, and Mom Doria, and we pray for all of God's peeps. All right. Thank you so much, Jacqueline Squash. Thank you so much for leading us in the good word. All right, so let's go to this one right here. So Chris Ship with a P, not a T. The Prince Harry interview on ITV last night was watched by a peak of 4.6 million on ITV1 and ITV-VX averaging 4.2 million over the 90-minute program, is ITV's highest rating for a factual show for more than a year. More people watch Happy Valley on BBC One, though. Okay, so that's good. That's very good. Extremely interesting how there are no public views for William is a bully, Earth flop, and Kate Middleton's is a bully's Caucasian Carol. Oh, I never heard the Caucasian Carol. Oh man, those numbers would shatter the illusion that the royals are popular. Prince William is an abuser, and Princess of Wales and hashtag William is a bully. Oh man. Okay, so last night I went on. Okay, so this is a wholly different tweet, but I just added it to the same one. So last night I went to an Irish bar in Cape Town. The atmosphere was exhilarating. I had Guinness. Of course, there were two white people in the group of five, black males and a black woman. An ad for Prince Harry's interview flashed on the screen. It was met with loud applause by the group. That's pretty cool. Thanks for sharing that. What is that? Lil L was Brazen Hussy. Thank you. Uh, thank you. Little something. Uh, Shay says they defend so much the unroyal British family by harassing the Sussexes that they forget to be human, at what you say there, and can't bring your titles and money on the grave. Judgment is always in heaven. Amen to that. Thank you for your comment. All right. Oh, wait. Why is that blank? All right. Okay, very well. The very fact that Prince William and Jeremy Clarkson use Harold as a pejorative and to demean Prince Harry tells you the whole royal family is buddy-buddy with the media and inciting the media vitriol. Well, yeah, I mean, on two occasions, that term Harold, I didn't attack you, Harold. Um, that is interesting. And Harry did say to William, according to Harry's book, he told William that you are just simply parroting the tabloid media. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's like one thing that I pride myself in is that I know when someone is speaking with someone else's voice. I mean, if you've ever been close to a partner or 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 you say even your best friend, like for instance, I've had a few people who would attack me about Megan because they know it pushes my button. And it wasn't really so much that they really give a rip about what Megan's doing, but I think that it is very personal to do that. And they decide to do it because they figure, I don't know if someone's having a bad day or what, but they know that if they, you know, use the Megan card, that it's going to push a button with me and it's going to make me very hurt and it caused me to become very defensive. And so, believe me, I have lost more than one friendship because of that. But it's like subconsciously, I'm listening. Well, okay, subconsciously, they have decided to push the button and lacking anything else that can hurt, why don't I just use that Megan thing? I'm pretty sure that will be irksome. I'll just do that. And yes, you have hit the target with that one because it's just like, it's so personal. And again, it's not because of Megan so much as the fact that you know that that's going to bother me. You know that that's going to set me off. So why would you do that? Is the thing that I'm trying to work out in my head. It's like you have subconsciously decided to use Megan to attack me, right? And then where the parroting comes in is that usually they don't have the words themselves. So you hear them parrot the talking points from the tabloid media. And I don't know what's more disturbing, the fact that you decided to use those talking points to bother me or to hurt me, or the fact that you're parroting the tabloid media in the first place. It's so interesting how people assume that they have just come up with a conclusion all on their own all the time, and that the media has no influence or bearing on their life, when there are some, or lives, should I say, when some people, everything that they say is parroting the tabloid media. How come she don't have that many black friends? And I'm just like, how do you know what kind of friends she has? Well, you never see this, you never see that. What does that mean, though? I mean, until the tabloid media started messing with her father and her brother and her sister and using them to hurt her, um, one of the things that we found out because of the tabloid media is that she's had a very close relationship with her mother's side of the family for most of her life. But yet, we have to assume that in her professional career, um, or even in her working career, that there aren't as many of us in those spaces that she's taken photos with. And so that means we have to assume that she really doesn't feel comfortable around her mother's people, or her own people for that matter. We really have to assume that. And that's hurtful to me. That is very, very hurtful that someone would do that. The truth is, we don't know who Megan talks to from day to day. In the past few years, Megan has only been out publicly for a handful of occasions. Even in the royal family, she was only visible for a handful of occasions here and there, and then you didn't see her for ages. So, how would you know who she talks to, who she's close to? You really don't know. And so that's why, when I hear people start to parrot things from the media, automatically I'm like, here we go, here we go. I don't know if they know they're doing it or not, or I don't know if it's just to cause hurt or inflict pain or not, but it is alarming. Kiki M, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex, and happy Monday to you. Thank you for being here. Okay. Oh. Speak of somebody who is triggered by Harry and Meghan. Speak of somebody who has been triggered by Harry and Meghan. Oh my God. Um Again, there is that look of disdain, like her words are just dripping with disdain as she speaks. I like when she kind of scrunches her lips up and go, hmm. It's something about this image that reminds me of Esther Roll. Do you guys remember when Esther Rose was in the movie Driving Miss Daisy and she was snapping them peas just before she dropped dead? You know how she was kind of watching her soap operas and she was snapping those peas and dropped dead? I don't know why this reminds me of Esther Rose in Driving Miss Daisy when she was snapping those peas and dropped dead. I don't know. It just I'm getting that vibe from her. Um, I feel I could just see her in Daisy's kitchen, snapping them peas, and all of a sudden, that little colander hit the floor, and peas are flying everywhere. Woo! That's what it reminds me of. Is Poor Esther Rose snapping those keys in Daisy's kitchen. Uh, Let me see, Driving Miss Daisy. Yeah, that's the vibe I get from that image. Esther was sitting there at that table, and snapping them peas, and next thing you know, them peas flew everywhere. Now, I'm not saying that I want her in the kitchen snapping peas, but I'm just saying that that's what she reminds me of. Um, Idella, Idella, and don't you talk to Idella. She's got work to do. And leave Idella alone. She's got work to do. Woo! Okay, you can see I'm in a bit of a silly mood. Let me see here. I like Prince Harry's answer to Anderson Cooper's question about titles. Anderson Cooper, why not renounce your titles as Duke and Duchess of Sussex? Prince Harry. And what difference would that make? That was epic. I love that. I love it. Absolutely. I love that too. Prince Harry was very forthright, forthcoming, and just, and even James O'Brien said, I had heard the stories about I have heard the stories about Harry's lack of education or whatever. But he said that after watching Harry and seeing how articulate and how sharp he was, um, he realized that Harry was actually pretty bright. So let me see. And leave Idella alone. She's got work to do. That's what Daisy said to Hulk. Hulk, and you leave Idella alone. She's got work to do. Idella, Idella. Okay, y'all, I'm about to take Idella away. Say goodbye to Idella. She's got to snap them peas for Daisy's dinner. Okay, Maureen Callahan, thick as a plank, intransigent as a toddler, and as falsehoods followed, contradictions followed, hypocrisy, a nation screamed at Harry, white glove TV interviewers, when will you call him out? So apparently, Maureen Callahan was so outraged by um, what's his name, Tom Bradby, and so outraged at Anderson Cooper for not dragging Harry all over the place and trying to do the I gotchas. It would not matter. Harry answered those questions. Listen, Tash Mac, I am not messing with you, so please leave me alone. Let me see. Bullion Billy Baldwin needs to sit down for a pig. He is going to lose the rest of his hair being incandescent. Thank you, Legs. Now, where's that? Where's that comment, Tash man? I didn't even think to go. Oh, let me see. Let me see. Apparently came at the wrong time. Wesley Snipe and Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar. Only not so cute. Yes. Noxzema Jackson, Jesse's daughter. Hi, what's your name? Noxzema Jackson, Jesse's daughter. Oh Lord, you all are a mess. Noxzema Jackson, Jesse's daughter. Well, that's what she said. Wesley Snipes and Tuan Fu. Um, Hi, I'm Noxzema Jackson, Jesse's daughter. Okay, you all are just getting messy about a moment. Uh, oh man. Well, she's triggered by Meghan and Harry. And so she is, I'm telling you guys, she actually has a lovely smile, and she's not unattractive. It's the hostility that is oozing out of her pores. And of course, the wig creeping down over her face like a tectonic plate. You know how those tectonic plates push up against one another? You know what I mean? They say that the reason why mountains are made and earthquakes are created is because the tectonic plates, like a glacier, kind of presses down on the earth, right? And so one plate slides up under one plate slides up under the other, right? And that is where earthquakes come from. So in this instance, just like a glacier or a tectonic plate, that wig is creeping down on her forehead, and pretty soon it's going to cover up half her face. So I'm going to go to the next photo before that tectonic plate starts sliding up under the other one. So if you need an explanation about that wig, I suggest that you Google tectonic plate, and all will be revealed. I promise. Okay. Um, I know, Sharon Davis. How did I manage to work tectonic plates into the conversation? I have no idea. I am waxing poetically right now, so I have no idea where that came from. Okay, and so Dan Wooten is equally outraged. Dan Wooten, I've had a wait. Let me get it right. I've had enough of all the sniveling Harry's deranged campaign against the media devils and the royals. He's trying to destroy Charles, Camilla, and William over leaks and briefings when I know those spinning for him and Meghan did just the same. Okay, I'm not doing my Dan Wooten that well these days. It needs to sound more sinister, right? It needs to be a little bit less Simon Bar sinister and more Dan Wooten sinister. But yeah, so Dan Wooten is just sick of it. Do you hear me? Sick! He is so tired. He's had enough of sniveling Harry's deranged campaign against the media devils and the royals. He's trying to destroy Charles, Camilla, and William over leaks and briefings when I know those spinning for him and Meghan did just the same. Well, he should know, because if it's one thing we all know for sure, that is the calls are coming from inside the house. Let us remember that Dan Wooten launches into a tirade against the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. It's much easier to assume, oh, I'm sorry, it's much easier to blame anything uncomfortable on racism rather than address the fact that the negativity towards them is coming from within the royal family. That's what he said. So how is it? I mean, because can you have it both ways? Can you honestly say that most of the negativity is coming from inside the royal family, and then turn around and say the opposite? Well, nearly the opposite, that there are people briefing and spinning for Harry and Meghan, and that they only are out to destroy Charles, Camilla, and William. And you know what else is flawed about this conversation? He forgot about Kate. Don't forget, Kate's on the menu today too. So if you're gonna say it, fool, get it right. Don't forget Kate. The Immaculate Heart of Catherine Middleton is also on the menu. I mean, after all, the Immaculate Heart of Kate Middleton, she was mentioned today. Why not make mention of that? Kathy Jones, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. It's much easier to blame anything uncomfortable. Woo, Oh, these people wear me out. Okay, so Prince Harry's book could be the beginning of the end for royals, warns Charles' biographer. The absolutely catastrophic implications of attacks on the behavior of the royal family. A new memoir from the Duke of Sussex are being ignored, according to Catherine Meyer, or Mayer rather, the royal analyst and biographer of Prince Charles. Anger over racism, misogyny, and wealth in the royal family can undermine public consent for a monarchy. Now, see, and let's talk about that. Public consent. The public consent implies that, well, okay, this is why they take those polls. This is probably why Camilla's nephew is part of the polling process, so that the polls will always favor the royal family, allegedly. So, according to the polls, it is with the consent of the public, which is overwhelming, that there should be a royal family, right? Right. Well, at least it's implied consent. But the truth is, it is an unelected center of power in a modern age that is going to be their undoing. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm not making this up. I've said it before. I can't remember which video I said it, but I think I've said it on a couple of occasions. While watching Troop in the Colors, I made conversation with people around me. And I didn't think much of it at the time, but now I probably wouldn't say it if I had to do it over, because who knows what people around me were thinking. But the one guy, and I swear I think this guy was a cop, because he was like kind of there by himself and he wasn't really taking any pictures. But this one guy, he we were having conversation, and then the Queen went past in her carriage. I took some photos, even took a little video. Well, I said, when she goes, all of this goes. He's like, you think so? And I said, yeah. I said, this is unsustainable. There's like no way that they could sustain this in the future. And then, of course, he was like, I doubt it. He said, this... they're not going anywhere. Some to that extent is what he was saying. And as I thought about it after the fact, I'm like, God, that was kind of effed up to say that, because, I am a visitor. But I was just saying that it's not sustainable. I don't see how you make sense out of this. And I can understand why that would bother people to hear someone, especially a visitor to the country, say that. But that was what I felt. I could not justify something like that in a modern age if it were up to me to decide whether something like that would stay or go. As a matter of fact, someone who agrees is Stacey Solomon, right?
Just don't get it. I don't get any of it.
What do you mean? You don't get what?
Yeah. I don't get why we're so obsessed with these humans that are exactly the same. Like, it could be us four sitting there. I just don't get it.
But are you talking about what you mean as royals, or as like Kim Kardashian? Because for me, they're becoming celebrities.
Well, to me, that's all they are.
The Queen is
their celebrity.
I love the Queen.
Brilliant.
I love the Queen.
No, for duty, responsibility.
She's always worked really hard, hasn't
I would
she?
work hard if the whole country paid for me to have like 12 houses and work really hard.
No, they don't pay for all of the houses, but
just a few.
Okay, so you guys, listen. I have been holding out on you guys. There was so much more to that conversation, and obviously I cannot share the entire conversation, but let me refresh your tea with this. Let me refresh your tea. This doesn't have the same sound quality.
In there, I just don't get it.
But are you talking about what you mean as royals, or as like Kim Kardashian? Because for me, they're becoming celebrities.
Well, to me, that's all they are.
The Queen
is their celebrity.
For me, is brilliant.
I love the
Queen.
Queen.
Yeah. Duty, responsibility.
She's always
Worked really hard,
But
hasn't
I would
she?
work hard if the whole country paid for me to have like 12 houses and work really hard.
But they don't. Well, if they're just like us,
Yeah.
why do they need all that faff?
People are thinking that already, even without them doing all of those things. I'm already thinking, like it's freezing cold outside and people are homeless and these people have like houses to spare. And it does sometimes become a little bit frustrating because I don't see the purpose of all of that money going to this entire family.
With these.
So that's the part that I did not have, because I only, excuse me, I could only share with you what I was able to obtain from people sharing on social media. But I believe that there is more of it available if you go to Loose Women, Stacey Solomon. If you Google that, you may be able to hear more of it. But she made so much sense, and she has become like the poster child for a lot of, abolish the monarchy people, the Republicans, and the anti-monarchists. She's become the poster child, and rightly so. I mean, I don't like that for what it can, make in terms of harm for her, but she was speaking truth to power, and it upset quite a few people because, she was right. She was absolutely right. And it's royal consent is one thing, but the public consent for a monarchy is a whole different thing. I mean, with royal consent is predicated on people feeling some emotional connection with the bonds of power and wealth and status being bestowed upon a single person or a family or whatever. But as for the public consent for a monarchy, I mean, when you have a healthcare system that is so out of whack that, and this is what gets me, is that I would hear people all the time from other countries, because I used to have a job where I met a lot of people from around the world, and they would ask things about America, and I would tell them, I'm like, okay, there are some places in America where there's not healthcare readily available, but I've grown up with a county hospital system that provides a blanket of protection for anyone within the county for healthcare. I was even born at one of those hospitals, and I've depended upon them over the years a lot, and I could probably see a doctor there a lot easier than someone could see at the NHS. And then too, the other thing is that even away from that, if you have an emergency anywhere in the United States, by law, they have to treat you, and they have to make sure that you are stable and fit enough to either be transferred to a public hospital or to be released from the hospital. They can't just let you out to die on the street. I mean, if that happens, your family will, probably seek damages. And anyway, the hospitals, for moral reasons, wouldn't want to do that. And financially, it could be devastating. So there has always been some protection for people where that's concerned. And, looking at the NHS, I remember how I used to say, wow, well, too bad we don't have a system like they have. Well, if you guys remember when Michael Moore made that documentary about socialized medicine, I don't think he included the UK. He went to France. He went other places, but I don't think he included the UK. It's not, none of these systems are perfect, but it's certainly better than nothing. I mean, there's some places where you just don't have anything. It's either cash or carry, or you just don't get any type of help whatsoever. But it's something that should definitely be made available in the Western industrialized world. We have the money for war. We should have money for healthcare. If we have money for war, then we should be able to build decent, affordable housing. And if they can't provide that, well, at the ballot box, that's your opportunity to replace those stingy people with people who actually want to work for the people, not fill their own coffers. I mean, that is the real disgrace. That is the embarrassing thing, is that you have all of these people that only are interested in their own bank accounts and not trying to help other people. But the money is there. The money is there. Whatever they say, the money is there. I don't believe in this world where that money does not exist. We can bail out an airline, but some people don't fly. So, what about the airlines? If you got money to bail them out, then you can definitely provide decent, affordable housing and provide health care, or at least subsidize it. But yeah. Okay. Let me go here. I forgot which squad he made. Oh, you know what? I can't even see that. Good grief, that's small. As the airing of grievances continue, Harry recalls Kate telling Meghan she was owed an apology for a comment made before the wedding. The future queen claims that the bench author hurt her feelings by teasing that Kate had baby brain. Nobody is picking at her brain. Trust me when I say this. Nobody is picking at Kate's brain. And if they were, the humane thing to do is to just leave it alone and give it a chance to heal. So, when she couldn't remember the details about the rehearsal timing, Kate gave birth to Louis in April of 2018, and Megan chalked it up the forgetfulness to hormones, which of course is what baby brain means. Now, I had never really heard that term before, but I guess, most people have, but not myself. And then, of course, William points finger at in Megan's face. The California native apologized to Kate for the baby brain comment, according to Harry, and explained that such a remark was one she'd make to any one of her friends. William, however, didn't appear to accept the apology. Harry alleged that the future king pointed at Meg and called her rude. The suit's alum subsequently asked her brother in law to kindly take your finger out of my face. Huh. Well, there you go. And then there's this confident, focused, and at ease. As much as certain commentators want to paint Harry out as lost and unhappy, it was clear in both of tonight's interviews that the man is in a good place. Brilliant analysis on the toxic relationship between the press and the royal family, too. Thank you, Omid Scobie. And whatever they say, I am never going to accuse him of being a mouthpiece for the Sussexes. He is simply someone who understands how the institution has made life miserable for the Sussexes. And that same institution, he was othered by someone either working for the institution or a fellow journalist who covers the institution. But there appears to be a conscious or unconscious bias all over the place when it comes to the royal family and those who support them. And of course, Omid Scobie, as of late, has been very quick to call them out. All right. Harry, the interview, so horribly sad it could have turned the Queen anti-monarchy. If she had lived to see this, it would have killed the Queen. But I might have made her okay. What the heck is that? Let me see. Okay, got it. But it might have made her a Republican. Harry, the interview, ITV lasted an hour and 40 minutes, including ad breaks, and left no royal turn unstoned. No royal turn unstoned. Via excerpts from his memoir, Spare, the answers to questions from ITV journalist Tom Bradby, the king's second son, Prince Harry, laid waste to the monarchy, or at least to the myth on which it so greatly depends. I would like to just say Harry took care of his business, plain and simple. Harry took care of his business. Now, let's get, got him. Let me see. Oh, man, I got a lot left. Okay, so this is the famous text message. If you haven't heard about it, this is it. Text exchange between Kate and Meghan, according to Harry's book, I suppose. Yes, Charlotte's dress is too big, too long, too baggy. She cried when she tried it on at home. She put tried it on a home. That's Kate, by the way. She tried it on a home. So anyway, according to Kate, Charlotte's dress is too big, too long, too baggy, and she cried when she tried it on a home. Is that like old Elizabethan English? A home. Woo! So Kate says she tried it on a home. I think that's old English. She tried it on a home. Yeah. Okay. So she tried it on a home. Woo. Okay. Anyway, back to modern English. Let me go to a little modern English, thanks to the Duchess of Sussex, who didn't try it on a home. Okay, so so Megan said, right. That's Megan picking up the English accent, right. And I told you the tailor has been standing by since 8 a.m. here at Kensington Palace. KP, she says, can you take Charlotte to have it altered as the other moms are doing? And Kate's response is, no, all the dresses need to be remade. Uh-huh. So then Megan said, not sure what else to say. If the dress doesn't fit, then please take Charlotte to see AJ. He's been waiting all day. And Kate says, fine. So I guess later on, Kate must have decided to, I guess, Kate decided to leave a home and go and have the dress fitted. But in order to have the dress fitted properly, you have to leave a home and to go. Woo! Oh, Lord. I bet you, Kate, the reason why Charlotte was crying is because she had picked up all that negative energy from Kate as though the dress had Agent Orange in it or something. And of course, if your mama is sitting up there making all kind of weird faces and stuff, then of course you're going to cry when you put the dress on. After all, most of the little girls left their home and went and got their dresses fitted. But Kate decided not to leave a home. Woo! So, if you want the dress to fit properly, then you have to leave a home and go and have the dress fitted properly. That's all. I mean, all the other kids left a home to get their dresses fitted properly. Then how come Charlotte can't leave a home. Um, I don't know. I guess Kate picked up that old English or something from talking to somebody else. I don't know. Anyway, so there is Kate wearing white to Megan's wedding. I guess she had the last laugh because when she uh on the wedding day when she left a home, she decided to wear white. Drifty Kate strikes again. Duchess of Cambridge recycles white Alex. Oh man, white Alexander McQueen coat dress. Oh, Kate in a coat dress. Really, that is so unexpected. Um, we've seen four times already for surprise attendance at Anzac Day. I don't know what that is. I'm sure that's something to do with war. Let me see. Duchess of Cambridge recycles a white Alexander McQueen coat today. Well, this is supposedly not a white dress. People kept trying to say she didn't wear white. She didn't wear white. But why did the Daily Mail say that she wore this same white dress on four occasions? I mean, there she is on the steps of the St. George Chapel. There she is walking into the Westminster Abbey. And there she is on the left side again at the Westminster Abbey wearing that same white coat dress that she put on a home and walked out the door. Anyway, you guys, I'm not here to bash Kate Middleton. Oh, wait, that's so weird. My nose is starting to grow. But I'm not here to bash Kate Middleton. I'm just trying to celebrate her birthday like everybody else. And to celebrate her birthday, one of her more peculiar looks seems to be appropriate. So happy 51st birthday, Kate Middleton. Wait, oh, I'm sorry. Happy, really? Happy 41st. Is it really only 41? Okay, so happy 41st birthday, Kate Middleton, and many happy returns of the day. And one of the ways I like to celebrate is to show you something that you've only seen on rare occasions. Like, for instance, Paul Elmsley's Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge 2012 official royal portrait. Now, you would think that they would love to share this royal portrait with more people, but they don't. They tend to keep this hidden away somewhere. I don't know why. It's a lovely portrait. I mean, it really seems to capture her rather striking looks. At least it looked like somebody struck her, but it captures her rather striking looks. I mean, it is a very singular appearance, one has to agree, and that someone was able to capture the very essence of Kate as though she just, I don't know, like she just walked out of a home and it looks just like she walked out of a home. Uh, but then again, I prefer Kate with a more natural look, not all that old airbrushed. I prefer a very natural, very wholesome Kate, don't you? I think that that's more appropriate if you see her in her natural, wholesome state instead of all of those filters and airbrushings and photoshopping. She don't need it. She don't need it. Or how about a nice close up of Kate in her red turtleneck? Uh, happy birthday, Kate. Happy 41st birthday. Many happy returns of the day. I can't wait to see you on your coronation day. I'm pretty sure it is going to be everything that your mama wanted it to be. And then, of course, there is Kate there's nothing better than candid photos of Kate when she's out on the high street, making this unexpected appearance. As you can see, there are at least, well, okay, nobody really noticed her but the paparazzi. But, well, anyway, she's out handling her business, and I think that's very sweet. And then, of course, there was this night when they were trying to mock the Duchess of Sussex by wearing those burgundy maroon coats. And there you can get a nice close-up of Kate as though she's a country music crooner. It is truly the essence of Kate. So no better way to celebrate her birthday than to get some nice photos and zoom in real close so you can pick up every detail. And then, of course, maybe tonight Kate might regale her family by either playing the piano, or maybe she'll get her old dance troupe over so that they can perform one of their Fosse moves for everybody. So there is that possibility that Kate may actually, do the old Fosse jazz hand thing. You never know. And of course, as you can see, as Kate matures, she's maturing like a fine wine, or like Granny on the Beverly Hillbillies. I haven't decided yet, but apparently one of the squatties could not help but notice there is a striking resemblance between Irene Ryan of the Beverly Hillbillies and Catherine Middleton of the Middleton Hillbillies. So Jet, I would, you know what? It would just kill me if Kate ever yelled, Jet, Jethro, Jet. I would love to hear that. Oh man. And of course, there's this lasting image of Kate from the Queen's funeral. This is really partners in crime, as far as I'm concerned. The two of the co-conspirators, two of them at least. There they are, dreaming about what jewels to grab out of Granny's jewel case next. Kate wearing the Queen's brooch, and well, is that Susan Hussey? Is that Susan? Why is Kate in the car with Susan Hussey? Anyway, good riddance. And then, of course, no other tribute is fitting for Kate on her birthday than someone who has managed to figure out exactly where Kate is coming from. And this is why I love this woman, because I love Kate. And because I love Kate, I love her, because she has managed to say the things about Kate that I have never been able to say, but somehow she has managed to, how do I put it? She has the very embodiment of Kate's legacy right on the tip of her tongue, and that's why I want to share it with you guys.
Amongst certain one of the reasons Catherine is so popular, amongst certain demographics, and I'm going to say older people and men, is because she says absolutely nothing. Yeah. She's a good little girl who keeps quiet and doesn't complain, doesn't do anything, doesn't rock the boat, and is a very traditional, old-fashioned, mute woman.
Take note, Nicola. There it is.
Right. One of the reasons Catherine is so popular, amongst certain demographics, and I'm going to say older people and men, is because she says absolutely nothing. Yeah. She's a good little girl who keeps quiet and doesn't complain, doesn't do anything, doesn't rock the boat, and is a very traditional, old-fashioned, mute woman.
Take note, Nicola.
She is an old-fashioned doesn't complain, doesn't explain, and this is why we love her so much. Happy birthday, Catherine. But to me, nothing says Kate Middleton like seeing her face all plastered up against the glass of a black cab on a Saturday night. Nobody could roll, or should I say, pour themselves out of a London black cab like Kate Middleton. I mean, anytime I've ever seen a black cab, or, I always think Kate Middleton. Black Queen says Anderson's Cooper special on Harry's interview at 8 p.m. Eastern. Woo, that is 15 minutes. I'll be done by then for sure. Thank you so much, Black Queen. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Take a note, Nicola. Take a note, Nicola. And then of course there's this. So if you think that is a touching, endearing image of Kate for her birthday, to see her face pressed against the glass of a black cab, the only other thing that gives me joy is to, like I said, she doesn't need all the smoke and mirrors. Just seeing her up close and ageless is the best way to celebrate her birthday. So happy 40, 50, 60, no, 40, 50, 40. Happy 41st birthday, Kate. And just to celebrate properly, I thought that since we're online and we can't see each other enjoy a beverage, a nice alcoholic beverage from a paper bag, then why don't we share Kate's mama enjoying? Why don't we? Now, see, who said that squatties were vitriolic? That is a lie. Look at how nice I'm being for Kate's birthday. So why don't we watch Kate's mama enjoy a nice alcohol, or alleged alcohol beverage from a paper bag in a public sports venue? I mean, who mama hasn't done that? I certainly wouldn't be surprised to look over and see somebody's mama, especially a future sovereign's wife, queen consort. I wouldn't be surprised to look over and see somebody's mama enjoying a nice, possibly alcoholic beverage from a paper bag. Would you? I certainly wouldn't. So anyway, to celebrate Kate's birthday, let's all have our own sip of a not possibly could be alcoholic beverage from a paper bag in a public venue, as the future queen's consort's mama would, and say, "Happy birthday, Kate Middleton." And then, of course, we will sit back in our seats, totally buzzed and effervescent, as we look around and see sugar fairies dancing on the clouds. That is the way you celebrate your daughter's birthday. Katie V, thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you for watching. I'm sorry, super sticker. And God's Child has a super chat. Kate is a huge disappointment. I spent years defending Kate online against some cruel UK press. And when Meghan came along, what did she do? To support Meghan? Zilch. Yes, she did absolutely nothing to support Meghan. And God's Child, I was very much a Anglophile. Not so much a royalist, but an Anglophile. I enjoyed British this, British that. And trust me when I say it, I have spent many American dollars with the time I spent in Britain. And one thing that I could take away from that is that the royal family has been a huge, huge disappointment. So if this has caused you pain, I share that pain with you, because I am blindsided by the behavior of the royal family. I thought better of them, but apparently I was wrong. Let's see. Marina Mavrogenis, is that right? Thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex, and happy Monday to you. So, you guys, as Black Queen has warned us, there is going to be. Oh, hey, official Lauren Brown. I didn't know you were here. There's going to be a what is Anderson? Well, it's some Anderson Cooper on CNN. So you guys make sure you go ahead and watch that. And that is the end for me today. I have had so much fun, of course, and it has been a real scream. Speaking of scream, where is it? So, on behalf of Nicholas Winchell or Dickie Arbiter, I'm still undecided. Thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And oh, I have a list. Thank you so much. I will grab my list. And listen, you guys, if you're going to go and snap peas, be careful, because the last time somebody looked like this went and snapped peas, they ended up on the floor. You have to be very careful when you snapping those peas, because you just never know. There you go. Woo! God almighty, what is that? What is that? What is that? Do you see that? The resemblance. Good God. Woo! All right. So where was I at? Oh, so thank you guys. Let me grab my list, and I am going to go and try to find Anderson Cooper.
Mute woman.
Take note, Nicola. There it is.
Mute woman.
Take note, Nicola.
Fashioned mute woman.
Take note, Nicola.
Old-fashioned mute woman.
Take note, Nicola. There it is.
Old-fashioned mute woman.
Take note, Nicola.
Oh God. Anyway, let me see here. Maybe they'll get Kate her own helicopter for her birthday. Now that would be a novelty, wouldn't it? I mean, what? Okay, I'll leave it there. All right, so I'm going to grab my list. Thank you so much, you guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Ooh, boy, let me see here. The list. Oh, that is the list. Okay. Right. All right, so thank you so much for today's donations. Really, Connie Balmer? I didn't even see that. Was that for today? Wow, I didn't even see that. Connie Balmer. I didn't get a chance to say Connie Balmer. All right, thank you, Connie Balmer, Helene Groen. Also, oh, Helene, you have that's a 5-month membership. No. Oh, no, that would, okay, gifted. All right, and a membership. Oh, thank you so much. Elaine Parker, Rick R.R. Carter, thank you. God's Child, thank you so much. And 10, thanks. Kiki M, thank you. And Legs, Kathy Jones, Black Queen, thank you so much. And thanks for that reminder. Caddy V, thank you for your contribution today, as well as God's Child again. And Marina Marvrogenis. Yes, thank you all very much for supporting Royal Sussex. And also, happy 71st birthday to the newly minted Prince of Wales. Let me see here. It's a real scream. Okay. Let me see here. Oh, really? Okay, I didn't see that. Thank you so much. All right, that's our last word of the day. Olivia Harris says, thank you, moderators. You are appreciated. You are loved, and you are great. Yes, I agree. Thank you so much for that, Olivia. By the way, moderators, thank you for all of that stuff y'all been taking out of those comments. I saw this one where she was like, I forgot what it was, but she was, you know how the Rangers try to get all psychological. That's interesting. How could Harry say he called his therapist and Meghan couldn't? Well, you know what, girl? We'll never know. And why? Because I blocked you. And if you come up with another one, we're going to block you again. So, derangers, don't waste your time um don't waste your time trying to get all psychological and stuff and try to ask those poignant questions in the comments, because this is a Sussex friendly space. You're not going to change our hearts and mind. We don't go over and bother you, so you're wasting your time here. But should you decide or choose to come in here and try to get all into our psychology and stuff like that, that's on you, boo. That's on you, boo. But we good. But yeah. All right. So you guys, thank you. Oh, from the Philippines. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, okay. Okay, we're good. So with that, I am going to Ginger Avenger us out of here. There's about 3 minutes to Anderson Cooper. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. They accused me of being Meghan Markle, but I'm not Meghan Markle. I'm not even paid by Meghan Markle. But if I were part of Archwell's productions or whatever, I would definitely try to be a little more professional. This is how you know I'm not part of that institution, because if I was, I don't think that they would tolerate my hemming and hawing and laughing and bell ringing and stuff. But this very bespoke content creator thanks you. And I thank you for the Sussexes, because your support, I know in my heart, the support from the Sussex squad has made a difference. And that is why they keep bringing us up, because the Sussex squad is not a single person. There's no leader. It's individuals who had enough of it. So that is who the Sussex squad is. It's not a person. It's not a place. It is a consciousness of discontent with that institution and, of course, the British tabloid media. So thank you. All right. I will see you guys. It is time to Ginge Avenge. And thank you, of course, to our queens for the amazing cheering. All right. Cue Ginger Avenger. Go, Ginge.
People who aren't necessarily reaching out, who are struggling, who perhaps don't feel they can reach out, or the fact that maybe they haven't realised that addictive behaviours has sort of established.
Have you ever had a dreams that you want him to do you so much you could do anything? Have you ever had a dreams that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Meghan in a Valentino white. Compare, I hate to do this, but compare Meghan in a Valentino white, absolutely wowing the crowds, and dear Kate in that very staid 1940s Amelia Wickstead coat.
Oh, you're really winding me up now. Yeah.
Well, I knew that would upset you, Richard, because I know you're more of a Middleton kind of girl and you like the sort of twin set and pearls 50s look. But all I'm saying is, who's speaking to the future generations, the younger generations? It's Meghan.
But the question for Kate came from a White House reporter, and it was about family.
Your Royal Highness, do you have any wishes for your new niece, Lilibet?
Oh, I wish her all the very best. I can't wait to meet her, because we haven't yet met her yet, so hopefully that will be soon.
Some of life's guiltiest pleasures. Oh, how many times have I watched this? Oh. Well, okay, I've watched it quite a few times. When they asked Kate about seeing the new baby, number one, Kate is looking bad. Oh my God, she's looking bad. I don't know if she's not sleeping, I don't know what's going on with her. I'm genuinely worried about Kate Middleton. I'm so worried about her. She's at the G8 summit, and outside of that controlled environment that she's accustomed to, she's not doing so well. She looks very, well, she looks Kate. I don't know if that's, anyway, what I'm talking about, what I'm tiptoeing my way into, is the video at the G7 summit in Cornwall. Gosh, where do I know that name? Cornwall. God, oh, the Duchess of Cornwall, Camilla Barker Bowles. Yeah. Okay, you guys, I'm done. I don't think I can get CNN, so that's why I'm not bothering right now. But I'll have, they'll show it later. But I got to figure out how to well, I mean, you should be able to watch Michael Strahan, but the CNN, that's a bit of a worry. All right, you guys, thank you. Just having a little extra fun. Anderson is playing the interview in some segments and is going to have a panel. Oh, that should be interesting. I hope that Don Lemon can keep, well, they probably won't have Don. He got demoted, I think. Let me see. It makes you wonder why the babies look. Oh, yeah, right. Okay. How much is that consort in the window? Yes, how much is that consort in the window? Okay. All right, guys. See ya. I am going to get out of here. A little extra fun though. All right, see you guys. Love you.